So we have a little bit of excitement here, at least on my end. I know it's probably not too well known, or not probably, it definitely is not too well known, but we're hoping to turn the tide. The Nothing Phone 2 will be released in about 3 weeks, I believe. Italy got an email last night inviting me, not to the release, but I plan on getting that device, coming out with their second generation of that, like I said, about 3 weeks. Planning on getting the device. Last year it was not available for US market. You can find one on eBay, but they were like $900. However, they were brand new. I think about $450, $460, brand new. Now this year they look to keep the same price point. However, they are going to upgrade the processor. Last year it had I believe it was a Snapdragon 778G. This year they were not going to put the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, the latest and greatest Snapdragon processor. Remember, they're trying to they're not trying to get up to that $1,000 price point. They want to keep it around I'm sure about $500, right? So they're going to put the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 Plus in there, last generation's flagship processor. So plenty fast, and the battery life is very good. I had 2 devices with Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 Plus, or 8 Gen 1 Plus 1, whatever. Their processor is very good on battery life, and it is a very strong performer. So it'd be quite an upgrade. It's going to have a 7.7-inch full HD display, 1080p. It's going to be AMOLED. It has a very user-friendly interface. It gets updates all the time. Now, from what I understand, the software is going to look, it was very stock Android on their first Nothing Phone, which I like, especially when everything's blacked out. Looks really cool. But this year I've heard that I think they hired a handful of Google software engineers and designers from the Google team. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but I know for sure they hired some new software engineers, and it's gonna look more of like a Pixel kind of feel on the software side, which is always nice to see. But I'm very excited. Now, some of the specs released, and I'm gonna put a picture of the specs on the screen here. Now, one thing it did not say is the device going to have a see-through back, and is the device going to have the famous LED lights on the back? That was not leaked or talked about, so I'm sure we may get a photo or two of the device here in the next couple weeks leading up to the release. But as of now, there's no photos or anything of it. But what I hope they keep, the back of the phone is cool. The LED lights are cool, but if it didn't have it on there, it'd be no big deal to me. However, what I do want them to carry over from the first, on the hardware side, on the aesthetic side, on the design side, one thing that I do wish that they keep is the squared off design. Meaning, now they got a lot of flack for this, but I think it looks cool. It sort of looks like an iPhone 12, right? It's actually squared around the mid-frame of the device, where you can actually stand it up on where it's standing up, or you could lay it on its side and it would stand up. So it's squared off. I love that design. I hope they keep that similar design, look, and feel with this Nothing Phone 2. Now they are going to release it for US consumers. Now I don't know if it's going to be. I would be surprised if you could get it in the carrier. I think what they're going to do is they're going to partner with Amazon, a huge retailer, and sell them through there. I think that would be the play. Now, eventually, like OnePlus did, took them a long time to get into T-Mobile. Now, I think it's still too early, because they just hired a head of the U.S. division maybe a month ago, And those are the typical people that negotiate the carrier deals with the carriers. They really haven't had anybody in charge of the whole U.S. market, just the U.S. market, because they're based in London. Now, they have a bunch of places. I went on their website last night and looked at all their offices. They have an office in Hong Kong, China, Sweden. London is their main headquarters. Everywhere except the U.S. But it takes a head of the U.S. division to negotiate with T-Mobile, to negotiate with a Verizon. I doubt it'll be Verizon. I'm just using it for example, but I still think it's probably too early for them to get into a carrier. Maybe next year or the year after, once the head of the U.S. division, once they put a good product out there. Because again, T-Mobile too, if you want to get into a carrier, the carrier wants to know that you have a fan base and that your devices are in demand. It'll probably be another couple of years, but that's fine. Like I said, they're probably going to team up with Amazon and just be able to buy them on there. So that's what I prefer anyways too, because I can have it overnighted. And but I plan on buying one. I plan on watching the live stream. I'm going to try to see if I can live stream it, their release on my channel. So if the Nothing Phone 2 interests you, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to have a ton of content on the Nothing Phone 2. I'm going to buy one, and I'm going to keep it as my, I don't know, second or third phone and test it out and check the updates and do reviews and all sorts of cool stuff. So if you are interested in the Nothing Phone 2 and or the launch of that device, subscribe to the channel, and I can promise you we're going to have a ton of stuff on it.